I just wanted to update you guys on some topic issues, and I wanted to give you another gift. Do you want to know what it is?
Paper.
More beautiful paper. Yay! First thing, let's talk about the topic. So last week, you guys gave me two choices of topics. And we're going to do it again. But this time, you guys are going to give me a choice of three topics. Okay. Also, a lot of students signed up for or are curious about topics that I think I should explain a little more. So first, let's talk about world studies, because a lot of students were looking at that and going, ooh, that looks interesting. Okay, now world studies is interesting. But basically what world studies is taking two subjects. So for example, economics and biology, and putting them onto one topic, right? Which is almost like double the work of a regular extended essay. It also requires that you learn about and have expertise. So for example, you could do something with physics and chemistry together. Right? But it's just not a combination of two subjects or two subjects. It's using these subjects to talk about a global issue. So for example, and I thought this would be easy to read. Can you read this? Is this too small?
That's really just common sense.
Okay, let me test it with my aging eyes. Okay,
On that copy of the overview, but I don't seem to be able to see under the form.
Okay. So, what you have to do is identify an issue of global importance, identify a local manifestation of that issue, okay? Develop a clear rationale for taking an interdisciplinary, basically two subjects, and use the conceptual framework and vocabulary of two diploma program subjects. Okay. So, for example, are you ready? An examination to the extent to which subsistence farmers in the Himalayan foothills are influenced by short-term economic motivations and long-term environmental sustainability in determining their farming practices. That's an example of a world studies topic. Can we see? Yeah. All right, now, in this topic, what are the two diploma program subjects?
Economics,
Economics?
probably physics.
Physics? No.
No, just climate, basically.
Right, there is an environmentally based extended essay, so it'd be those two things. The extent to which the policies of the Thai government are have prohibited the Karen ethnic group from progressing alongside the rest of Thai society.
Social study on government.
Probably cultural anthropology and government or politics, right? Okay. So if you were thinking of world studies, sorry, we'll get to them. If you were thinking of world studies, you should be careful. Like you can absolutely do that if we have the subjects, for example, English, language and Korean. Like you could probably do something there, but just know that this is a big project. Okay. All right. A couple students were asking about film. Now, film is possible, but it's a small possibility because the reason we don't have like biology extended essay available, the reason we don't have business management available is because we don't have teachers who are experts in that field, okay? So with film, that would be with me, and that's only because I do have some education in film production, in film history, and that kind of thing. It's not as good as my English education, but I do have some. And so the other problem is that we don't have a film class for you, right? And so if you don't know, for example, if you don't know what film noir is, or if you don't know who Clint Eastwood is, or what's the Japanese film director, I can't remember his name. If you don't know some of these things, you can't learn them in film class because there is no film class, right? And so if you want to do film as an extended essay, you need to come up to me with a very good idea of what you want to do. And then you have to basically ask me, where can I do independent research? Where can I learn about these topics? It's extra work, okay? So again, you can do that, but be prepared for the extra workload, okay? Are you having fun? Okay, here's some other, for example, do you guys know Wes Anderson?
What?
Wes Anderson? No? Okay, alright. Okay, so anyway, finally, English A and English B. When you guys sign up for, or when you guys give me your list of choices today, I need you to tell me if it's English A or English B you want to study. Now again, English A is about literature. Yay! English B is about the language. Woo! The language is fun, it's super, but literature, of course, is much better. Okay, so if you choose literature, it's probably going to be with me. If you choose language, it's probably going to be with Miss Che. But I don't know. We haven't decided yet. Okay. Are there any questions about topics? All right. Okay.
Maybe
Actually,
some of them had a question about business.
oh yeah, we talked about that. Business management we can't do. So I'm sorry about that. Now the papers I'm going to give you are very tiny. Guilty. I could have made them bigger, but I made this quickly in Excel. So write your name. Yepuge, write your name beautifully, and put down your first three topic choices. And again, Yogita. Oh. If it hasn't changed from last week, that's okay. If you're like, I really want to do chemistry or physics, that's fine. You don't need to change your answers. We're just doing this one more time. Oh, that's 3. In fact, you really need to make these a little bigger next time. When you're done, just raise your hand. I'll come and collect them. Yeah, Digital Society was ITGS. It's basically, it's just changed the name. Oh yeah.
Is it about iterative?
It could be, but like how Digital Society, like how society. This actually takes them would be in charge of that.
디지털 소사이티는 이전에 ITGS라는 과목에서 변형된 건데 포인트는 이런 거예요. 기술의 이게 그 과목 자체 그룹 3 과목이거든요. 사회 과목인데 과목 자체에서 느껴지는 이름에서 느껴지는 건 약간 기술 관련된 것 같잖아요. 근데 여러분들이 대부분 이제 기술에 대한 얘기를 할 때는 뭐 기술의 특성이나 이런 거에 대한 얘기를 많이 하고 싶어 하지만 실제로 이 과목에서 하고자 하는 얘기는 그 기술이 초래할 수 있는 영향, 긍정적 영향, 부정적 영향에 대한 부분을 주목하는 거예요. 그래서 새로운 기술이 개발됐을 때, 또 새로운 기술이 들어왔을 때 그런 것들이 미치고 있는 영향에 대해서 분석하고 특히나 긍정, 부정적 측면을 모두 보는 조망하는 것이 이 과목에서 해야 될 익스텐드 에세이 방향이에요.
천천히, yeah, don't. 천천히. Take your time. Alright, so English A would be literature, English B would be. So in English A, you would actually be analyzing literature. So novels, you could do like graphic novels, comic books, that kind of thing. With language, it's more based on like text or use of, for example, something like the influence of English in Korea. Have you finished? Thank you.
당연히 임준혁 선생님의 이제 이어가기 때문에
이거 아니야? Finished?
코리안 랭귀지 진짜 힘이라니까 문과 얘기해서
아니 뭔가요? 안 해. 그냥 캐마지.
Anybody still thinking of one? Anybody else? Oh. A or B? Yeah.
뭐야 지금 썰에서 이거 배분하는 거야?
코리안 이거
Yeah, I would say so.
English A is more fun.
Alright, anybody else? Did I get everybody's? Well, you were trouble here and on me. It's fun. It's fun. Okay. All right, now your one. Did you finish reading the material I gave you last week? Really? So you wouldn't mind a nice test on it? All right. So the papers I gave you last week. Okay, here's a good question. Do you still have them? I have a couple more copies up here, but it'll cost you. Hold on one. Okay, great. Good student, favorite student. Oh. All right, turn to page 18 real quick. Where's yours? It's in your locker? Well, I can sell you a copy for 50만 원. Or you can go run to your locker real quick. I almost got it. Terrible. Yeah, that's a good idea. These are the blanks for the next one. Sorry, they're too small. Okay, so that box on the bottom of page 18, what is that called? Right, the ethical guidelines for student essays, research, and fieldwork. Okay, so again, these basically say things like you're not going to hurt anybody for your research, because that's bad research, right?
Yeah.
And you guys weren't cruel and mean, right? And you don't want to torture animals, right? Okay. All right. So we talked about the first one and the second one, right? The first one last week. Extended essay students must exercise the greatest sensitivity in local and international cultures. Any research or field work that causes anxiety, stress, pain, or discomfort for participants is not permitted. So you cannot injure or torture your younger brother or sister. Any research fieldwork that involves unjustified deception. What is deception?
Deception.
Yeah, what is deception?
Deception is teasing or
Not teasing. Oh, maybe we should add that to some sort of vocabulary test. What is deception?
Most probably leading someone to conduct an act, whether involuntary or not, by
Simply-
pleading.
No, simply it's lying.
I mean,
Are you sorry? Okay, we're on page 18. Okay, right. So any research that involves unjustified deception, involuntary participation, or invasion of privacy, including inappropriate use of information technology, email, and internet, is prohibited. Basically, you cannot steal anybody's handphone and look through their data for your research. You can't lie to people about what you need to do for your research, okay? All participants in research activities must be informed before beginning the research, that they have the right to withdraw at any time, okay? If you need to interview someone, and you schedule an interview with someone, and they're in Seoul, and you go to Seoul to interview this person, and then Kapjagi, that person says, nah, never mind, I don't want to do it. You don't do it, okay? Anybody you research or anything you research, they have the right to say no at any time. Pressure must not be placed on any individual participant to continue with the investigation. So if someone says, I don't want to do this anymore, you have to accept that. You can't say, what? You agreed to. We're going to do it. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to answer them. No. You're like, thank you very much for your time. Then you go home, and then you can be angry and cry. Each participant must be informed of the aims and objectives of the research. In addition, be shown the results of the research. So, yeah, basically you have to tell people what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then when you're done, you have to show them the results. Okay? Informed consent. Now that's a big phrase. What is informed consent? What is consent?
agreement.
Agreement, right? Saying, okay. Informed means they know, they understand everything about saying yes, okay? Informed consent should be obtained from people who are subject of the fieldwork. Research involving children needs to have written consent of parents or guardians. Students must ensure that parents are fully informed, and actually, I'm not quite sure any of you are going to be doing any research involving children, but if you are doing any research involving children and you don't know what you need to do, come talk to your supervisor, or we will help you. Extended essay students must avoid conducting research with any adult who is not in a fit state of mind and cannot respond freely and independently. Now, what do you think that means?
Handicapped people or just animals.
Okay. Fit state of mind. What do you think that means precisely?
To be able to think critically.
Okay. Basically, if someone is drunk or crazy or very, very sleepy, or if they're not in their regular mind, then, they're not going to give you good research. So, don't research them. If any participant shows stress or pain at any stage, you must finish. Again, don't hurt people. Okay. I think that's pretty simple. Nobody, maybe Gian. Or none. Alright. There's a couple more in the back. Research, okay, the last one there. Or actually, these are important. Okay, so, the second to the last one. All data collected must be kept in a confidential and responsible manner, okay? So, yeah, any data you collect is for you and your supervisor and the ID, and that's it, okay? because you do want to protect people's privacy. Also, research that is conducted online using IT methods is subject to the same guidelines. Any data collected online must be deleted once the research has been completed. Such data must not be used again for any purpose other than to conduct the research, okay? So if in your research you get people's phone numbers or email addresses, you have to delete them after your research is done. You can't sell them to your cousin who has an online phishing scam. Okay, I just wanted to cover those very quickly. Throw these on the floor. All right, now let's proceed with the next unit. Oh. 그런데 여러분, you should keep all of these because these are going to be very helpful to you when you get to certain parts of your extended essay. 여기, Okay, so on page 31, actually 31 through 30, okay, yeah, 31 through 36. These are just the types of sources that you guys can use for your primary research and secondary research. What is the difference between primary research and secondary research?
So basically, for primary sources, you are generating information, but for secondary sources, you are using or converting those information into some other.
Okay, yeah, primary research is direct. That's you in the laboratory doing the experiments. That's you making surveys and giving surveys to people. That's primary research. Secondary research is reported, right? Secondary research is you in the library looking at books or finding academic journals online and using that. So most of your research is probably going to be secondary research. If you're doing chemistry or physics, then you'll probably have some primary research too. So we don't need to go through all these, but for example, if you are doing a language A extended essay, woo! What kind of primary resources might you want? Novels, letters, anthologies, poems, interviews, or plays. Very good. And what kind of secondary sources might you need? Okay, all right. I heard one person start any journal's article. And then I heard the rest of you say any journal. You guys are terrible at reading. Okay. All right. Journals, articles, critiques, documentaries, websites, literary reviews, newspapers or literary magazines, autobiographies, biographies. What's the difference between an autobiography and a biography? What does auto mean?
To write by itself.
Automatically, right? By itself. So autobiography, by the person is about, right? So do you think autobiographies or biographies are more trustworthy?
A lot of this really depends on the circumstances.
Okay. Can you trust what a lot of people say about themselves?
No.
It depends on the person, but okay. Here's a fun question: if Trump wrote an autobiography, or if there are biographies about him, which one would you trust more?
The last one.
You would trust Trump's autobiography, where he says, "I'm the richest, best person in the world"? Okay. Like, again, this is talking about what we talked about before, is questioning the source of the material. And generally speaking, autobiographies are a little less trustworthy than biographies. But anyway, okay. So let's jump to, for fun, because some students were interested in math. Yeah, math. Okay, that's on page 35. What are some of your primary sources for mathematics?
Axioms.
Axioms,
Axioms.
proofs,
Equations.
theorems, data, problems, conundrums. Oh, such a great word. Conundrum, Hiba.
Conundrum.
All right. What is a conundrum?
I actually don't know.
No, that is wrong. A conundrum is not a drum. A conundrum is a mystery, is a mental mystery. It's just like this doesn't make any sense. Okay. Conundrum, statistics, and so on. Okay, what are some secondary resources for math?
Well, the other last one that's not magazine, that's a specialist website, another publication that incorporates this last culture.
Fantastic, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So again, once you have your subject, and if you have questions about sources, you look here. On page 37. On page 37, now locating relevant sources, okay? Yeah, libraries. How often do you guys go to the library in this school? Every day? 3 times a week? 2 times a week? 1 time a week? Once a week? Okay. 5 times a month? 4 times a month? 3 times a month? 2 times a month? Once a month? She's been okay. Okay. Now, of course, what about the city libraries? Yeah, the city has libraries, Yodun. It's amazing.
City doesn't have.
Well, do you go to them?
No.
No? Alright, who's been to Dujong?
Even the library here.
Or City Hall. I forget the name of it.
I think I've been there at least once.
At least once in your life.
Yeah, certainly.
Alright. Well, okay, what about universities?
No.
Universities have libraries. Sunmundae has a library. Has anyone been there? You have? Okay, alright. Can you describe it? Is it nice?
I remember that. I've been there.
Alright, now, are you university students? Can you go to university libraries?
Probably not.
Yes, you can. You might not be able to check anything out, but you can go there and take notes and pictures and stuff. You can do that, right? Okay, so libraries, the school library, municipal public libraries, virtual libraries. Do you guys know any virtual libraries?
JSU.
Okay.
JSU.
Okay. How often do you use them?
Not really dollars, but sometimes.
All right, Chikinguto, I want everyone to go to a library every day. Every day. I know you have a lot of free time. I know you all have a car. It's no problem. Go to the library.
Car?
That's a joke. It's a joke. Chicha, you're going to spend more time in libraries and your life will be better because of it. Next page, page 38. Electronic databases. Now you'll notice that there's a couple. Right, okay. Do you see any databases that you recognize?
Yeah, the opposite that you are not say nothing with
JSTOR.
Uncommon.
Right. Our good friend JSTOR is here. Hello, JSTOR. Right, that's right. Okay, so Google Scholar is also okay. And all of these are also very good journals as far as I know. Like, honestly, I have not looked at the ARXIV, but if you're doing physics or computer science or math, that's a good place to look. Okay? So again, once you discover what you want to write about, look here. Like, oh, I should look at that. And look, there's the Eric Institute. Read about Google Scholar.
Yeah,
It's my institute. It's called Eric. My name is Eric. Hi. Okay. Next page. Page 39, online encyclopedias. Books, of course, textbooks, and journals. Okay. Now, what's the difference between journals and online journals? It says this to be a simple question. Right, these journals are offline. This is what they have in a lot of libraries and university libraries, is they have a lot of journals, right? And so, for example, maybe you're trying to find some information about something, and you look on JSTOR and other online journals, and you find it, but you can't get it because you don't have money, right? It's behind a paywall. Paywall. You guys heard of that before? Okay. So again, paywall is like you go on JSTOR, not JSTOR is a bad example. You go on Google Scholar, okay? You're looking for something on Google Scholar. You find something, you're like, ooh, I want to use that.
And you have to pay for it.
You click on it and it says, you can look at this journal if you pay us, I don't know, $12 a month or $95 for this one time, right? That's a paywall, right?
Wow.
And so what happens? What happens when you meet a paywall? What are your options?
Either pirate it or don't. Yeah.
Okay, as an IB teacher, I would say don't pirate information, please. But no, there's an option. Like, if you want, mommy, daddy, I have $95. You can do that. Or what else can you do? You can try to find the same information on another service, another website. Maybe JSTOR has it, right? Because the information that Google Scholar and JSTOR, it's not private to Google Scholar and JSTOR. It's out there. So you can find the source that you want in other places for free. It might take some time finding it, but you can do it. But say you can't find it online. You just like, it's there, it's behind a paywall, I can't get to it, but maybe you can get the offline version in a library, in one of these journals. It'll be fun. Libraries are fun.
Yay.
Okay. And the next page, page 40. Magazines are fine. Okay. Even ID has their own magazine. It's called ID Review. Okay. All right. So basically, if you're looking for sources and you're like, I don't know what kind of source to look at, remember this, remember today, and then look here again. And then if you need to, you can ask your supervisor or me for help. Okay. Okay. The next couple of pages I will let you read on your own. The next couple of pages are about organizing all of your material. Okay? And this is why I love the RPP, I'm sorry, not the RPP, the Researcher's Reflection Space on ManageBat. Remember when you made those mind maps?
Yeah.
Right. Like all the material you find, put it in there, right? And then you can start organizing it. Okay, so you can organize it by the source of the material. You can organize it by a particular point in your idea, like you want to talk about this particular thing. These sources talk about this particular thing. Okay? So yeah, read those, and then on page 46, 46, 47. Okay, now, this is evaluating your material. So you have this research material, now, how good is it? Or how believable is it? Can you trust it, right? Okay, so, there's values and limitations, all right? So, for example, some values of a resource is, let's start with the first one. Its degree of objectivity. What does that mean? What does that mean? Its degree of objectivity.
The lack of interpretation.
Okay. Or you can do some cunning right here in the parentheses.
I mean, the part of that.
How factual it is in structure or approach. Okay. Remember, we talked about objectivity and subjectivity. Right? What's the difference between objectivity and subjectivity?
Interpretation.
Someone else over here is very quiet over here.
네. 저기 혹시 선생님 설명 어려워? 너무 빨라? 왜 아무 대답들을 안 해?
좀 비겁해.
응? 쉬우. 왜 아무 대답도 안 해? 말해봐봐. 혹시 너무 빠르거나 너무 어렵거나 혹시나 아니면 질문이 너무 커? 대답하게? 말해봐. 이게 너무 선생님이 알고 있는 IB 수업이라고 하기에 또는 선생님이 알고 있는 평소에 여러분의 수업이라고 하기에는 너무 인터랙션이 없는데? 생각을 말할 수도 있고 답을 할 수도 있는데 아무 반응이 없잖아. 마치 관심이 없는 것처럼. 그래서 물어보는 거예요. 혼내는 게 아니라. 왜 아무 말도 안 해? 민준이.
살짝 빠른 느낌이.
빠른 느낌 든다고? 지율이는? 이지율 맞죠?
네. 크다.
질문이? Maybe the question is too broad
Okay.
for them to answer. So,
Okay.
so maybe they want and they might answer in one sentence or in one phrase.
Either one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the case asking difference between the objectivity and subjectivity, in the case one of them has to dominate the class and then speak at least 30 seconds, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So maybe they don't want it.
Okay.
Yeah, all they want is just speak one phrase or clauses like that. So can you slice it down into
Sure.
some small questions?
Okay. I'm just, sorry, but it's my new stuff already. All right. Can you give me an example of an objective source? Yes. An objective source of information.
Data collected directly from nature.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Just data collected directly from nature. I mean, it really kind of depends on how you fucking make this all experience.
Well, okay, now, we're talking about, when do you have to worry about objective and subjective? Do you have to worry about objective and subjective sources when you're doing primary research? If you're in a laboratory, if you're doing an experiment, do you need to worry about objective and subjective sources?
Not really.
No, because you are the source. Now, you have to worry about yourself being objective or subjective. But when you're doing secondary research, when you're reading books, when you're reading journals, when you're reading articles, when you're reading the news, when you're reading anything, what's the first question you need to ask?
Does this thing contain any biases?
Okay. Can I trust this? Or how much can I trust this? Right? If you can trust it, does that mean the source is objective or subjective?
Option.
Objective, right? If you can't really trust it, then it is
Subjective.
subjective. Okay? Alright. Okay, again, I'll let you guys read most of these, but number 2, it provides, again, we're talking about the strengths, the values, what makes a resource valuable, what makes a resource useful. It provides insight into thoughts or behaviors. Reveals weakness. Okay, so for example, a lot of research, a lot of past research has parts of it that are wrong. Now, they're not lying, like they can be objective, but maybe somebody makes a mistake, right? Maybe they didn't have the technology or the understanding to say something, to write something, right? And maybe they're just wrong, okay? So, if you find a resource that says, okay, this part maybe it's wrong, it needs more research, that's a very good thing. That tells you its limitations. Okay. Okay. Now, again, you can go through all of these. We got 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do a little activity right now. Oh, it's me. Okay. I want you guys to get in groups of say 2, 3, or 4 people, and I want you guys to talk about or choose three values and 3 limitations that you think will be important, most important to you. Okay? So groups of 3 or 4 students, choose 3 values, 3 limitations.
So is it right that this document missing page 41 through 44?
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped over that. So you're gonna get in a group or conversation with someone, and you're gonna choose 3 of these and 3 of these that are most important to you.
Well, R is not very good, so probably the underline one or
Things that are unusual.
like the evaluation.
Yes.
Would be free of values.
Ah. Okay. Was not written under a censorship regime. Regime is like government. So, like, what kind of government has a lot of censorship? Blocking information. So what governments do that?
China.
China.
North Korea.
North Korea. Right. So basically, if there's anything like a Chinese academic journey, you gotta be like, I don't know.
그러면 first 근데 언니 인디
They know more than us and
앞에 있는 거 두 개와 마지막 거 한 개를 고르는 경향이
So it's basically considering only one
누군가
on three specific
만나면 우리보다 더 잘하는 사람들이니까 누군가
or essentially one
책이 안 되니까 하나씩만 풀어서 주지.
Okay. Do you remember me talking about ice cream and murder?
we should try
Okay. Now, in New York City, during June, July, and August, ice cream sales
아,
기억나?
ice cream sales
월달에 그 관계가
increase,
상관이 없어.
but also murder.
월달로 증가를 하는데 둘이 상관은 있거든요.
Murder increases. Now, is that a correlation or a causation?
correlation
Correlation.
yeah, not a causation.
Right. Correlation does not equal causation. Causation might
So it causes something.
cause something, right? Eating more ice cream does not cause more murder, right? It's just that it's hot,
Yeah.
right? And more people eat ice cream and more people are murdered in hot weather. So, that is correlation.
쟤네 둘 코레레이션이지. 가 없다는 거잖아. 그럼
Murder.
네, 근데 만약에 저쪽에 무기가 있는데 상황이 없는 새끼 나타나면 언제가 아니잖아.
Alright, 여러분. Excellent job, thank you very much. Now, your topic ideas will be due in a couple of weeks, okay? So, I will put on ManageBack the form that you're gonna use, and when do you guys check your emails from ManageBack? No. Hey, okay. So, because when I post something on ManageBack, there's an option for me to say, notify students. And I notify students, but if you don't read them, then you're not notified. So, I will let you know when that is posted, and we can get your